what's up guys, it's me Jake here, and welcome back to another video and another manga I am hyped for. Now, to this month, it is going to be August 2021, and there's not much compared to last month that I'm really hyped for August, but there is still a lot of bangers coming out in August that I do want to talk about that I am actually really excited for. So without further ado, let's just get straight into this. Now, to start this off, even though I'm not a huge fan of this series, Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 11 is coming out, with Nanami, one of my favorite characters in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, getting the cover. It looks amazing. I really love this cover, and I will say, this is where Jujutsu Kaisen starts falling off for me, which I think is right after the Gojo's Past arc is where it really starts falling off for me. Of course, that's just my opinion. All of this is subjective. I think other people will love the Shibuya arc. Just wasn't my cup of tea. It changed up the whole entire kind of style of JJK way too much and made it way more darker than it really was, and it really didn't fit my kind of style. So that's just my opinion on it. But yeah, JJK Volume 11 is coming out August 3rd, and I'm really excited for this release. Now, for a series that was actually supposed to be on my last manga I'm hyped for, and actually was, but got delayed sadly, because a lot of the stuff recently has been getting delayed pretty far back. The Promised Neverland Volume 20. I'm very much excited for this volume. I cannot wait to have the rest of Promised Neverland so I can binge through it all, since if you don't know, I read up to around Volume 14 or 15 and then I stopped reading it completely so that I can wait for the last 5 or 6 volumes to come out so I can just binge through this whole series again, start rereading it, because I really loved the Gracefield arc and I loved Goldie Pond. Oh my god, those two were some of my favorite arcs and just shonen in general, so I just cannot wait to get the rest of the Promised Neverland, and Volume 20 is the final volume, so I cannot wait to finally finish this series, and I will probably have it near my top 10 after the completion of this series. Now, another one I actually completed on the Jump app, and we're waiting for part 2 of. Now, if you don't know, part 2 used to be in Jump, you probably know it by now, Chainsaw Man Volume 6. Wow, I love Chainsaw Man through and through. It's a really great story, and it was my introduction into Tatsuki Fujimoto works. And wow, I think he might be up there in my top 5 manga, because after reading more of his works, like Look Back, and I've read a little bit of Fire Punch, I am very much intrigued with how Tatsuki Fujimoto writes. I really love his stories, and that's not taking away anything from Chainsaw Man, as I think this is his magnum opus. I love Chainsaw Man. Denji as a protagonist is amazing in my opinion. Love all the characters, and wow, I love Chainsaw Man, and I cannot wait for Volume 6. Even though I've already read it, I'm going to wait for all the physicals to come out and then finally reread it, because man, oh man, is Chainsaw Man that good. Now, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but the next thing I'm really hyped for in this August release is JoJo's Bizarre Adventures Part 5. Now, if you don't know why I'm saying it's a hot take, this is my favorite part of JoJo's, as it has my favorite cast out of every part that I've watched or read, and don't kill me about this, I've yet to read anything past Part 5, and yet to watch anything past Part 5, so don't hate me if I'm not saying Part 7 is not my favorite, because I've yet to read or watch it, because of course there's no anime out for it, and I haven't read the manga yet. But Part 5 is my favorite. You know, I love the whole entire cast of the Passione, like Bruno, Mista, Giorno, etc. I think Diavolo is a weak point. I think Diavolo is one of the weaker JoJo's antagonists, but even then, I really think that this is a really good part, and I love it so much. I really love Giorno as a protagonist, and if you don't know, my favorite character in all of JoJo's is Mista, and my favorite stand in all of JoJo's is Sex Pistols, so I cannot wait for this part to finally get English release. Now, the next one I've only read 2 volumes of, but that will be Komi Can't Communicate Volume 14. I cannot wait to read more of Komi, but I don't see it being too long, as I think it should have been pretty short, but it keeps coming out in Japan. It's around 20-something volumes in Japan. I don't know how it's going to be staying as good as it is now for that long, as it is one of those slice-of-life comedies, so hopefully it stays as good as it was as I'm reading it through and through, but I don't know how it's going to do so. Really do love the series, but it's going to be hard for me to continue unless it stays at where it is now, which I hope it really does, but I've been a bit too busy with the new journey I've been kind of going on to read more of it, which, if you don't know, will be kind of talked about in my next video, which is going to be Thursday, hopefully. I should have it up by Thursday, but getting back onto Komi. Hopefully it stays as good as it is, and I cannot wait for Volume 14 to come out, as I do have it pre-ordered. And yeah, on to the next one. Now, the next thing coming out is actually an omnibus. These things have been coming out so fast, and that is Shaman King Omnibus 4. These things have been releasing so quick. I don't know how they're doing it. Of course, the whole series is already finished by now, so that's probably why. They already have the translations and everything they really need, but man, oh man, I cannot wait to have all, I think it's going to be 11 or 12 of these. I think there's going to be 1 2-in-1, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's going to be having to be 1 2-in-1, but otherwise, I cannot wait to have all 12 of these omnibuses. They're releasing so quick, and I think we're going to have 5 or 6 by the end of 2021, which is actually insane to think. So I cannot wait to have Volume 4, as I do have the first 3. And yeah, I cannot wait to start getting into Shaman King because I've read Volumes 1 through 6 a while back, but I'm waiting for like 5, 6, or 7 of these omnibuses to come out to straight up binge them all, because I did really enjoy those 6 volumes. So cannot wait to get back into Shaman King, and I cannot wait for Shaman King Omnibus 4. Next one I'm going to be talking about is going to be a series I personally love to death. Black Clover Volume 26. Now, Black Clover's release schedule has been pretty slow for Weekly Shonen Jump series for the English publication, so I'm kind of hyped that it's getting this, but I feel like it's been so long since the last volume came out. I feel like they're coming out 3 to 4 months apart, when a lot of the Weekly Shonen Jump volumes usually come out like 2 to 3 months apart, so it's been that 1 month longer that I've been waiting for Black Clover volumes. But of course, I am up to date with it on the Weekly Shonen Jump app, and I will say, it's amazing. Love Black Clover. The Spade Kingdom arc is insane right now, and Volume 26, I believe, is going to be the entrance into the Spade Kingdom, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be around the entrance of the Spade Kingdom, so man, oh man, are you guys in for a treat with the entrance of this amazing arc, probably the best arc in Black Clover as of yet. It's an amazing arc, amazing characters. The development of all these characters are insane, and let me just tell you, Asta, Noelle, and Yuno are so amazing. But yeah, on to the next volume that is coming out in August 2021, which is going to be One Piece Volume 97. Oh my god, I'm actually going to be getting Volumes 99, 100, and 101 in Japanese, because they're going to be having 3 connecting covers, and I cannot wait for those. But Volume 97, man, oh my god, One Piece is getting to that point where it's super long, but it's so easy to read and so easy to just binge that I cannot wait for this. Of course, I've yet to read any Wano, but I'm going to reread all of One Piece and continue through Wano and get caught up very soon, as I've been missing One Piece, man. I've been wanting to reread this for a couple weeks now, probably in months at this point, but it's an amazing series, amazing characters, some of my favorite characters of all time, some of my favorite protagonists of all time, Luffy, of course, and I will say, I love One Piece. I highly suggest to all of you, and Volume 97, I cannot wait to read, shall I say. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's it for One Piece, and let's get on to the next volume. Now, the next one is a vertical title, and it's going to be Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Volume 8. Now, I cannot wait for more Miss Nagatoro, because I think it's one of my favorite, more wholesome rom-coms, and as time goes on, the more and more I read, the more and more I like it, and the more and more wholesome it gets, and I cannot wait to see the development of Naoto and also Nagatoro as time progresses, as I love these two together, and I cannot wait to see what happens. I might want to read it online just so I can catch up, but I really like reading it physically. I think the physical volumes are great because they're vertical and they're wider. So, for an example, it would not be this length, it would be like this length, so you have a little bit extra room to really open up those volumes, and I really do think that adds to the comfortability of reading a physical volume. I think vertical does that really well, and I cannot wait for Nagatoro 8 to finally read this, as Nagatoro does kind of a slower release schedule, but that's not the point. Love Miss Nagatoro, and I cannot wait for this volume. Talking about very wholesome rom-coms, Call of the Night Volume 3. This series has been really interesting, and I really cannot wait for more volumes of it, as it's just progressively getting better and better. And if you didn't watch my first impressions review, card will be right here. Hopefully I got the hand right, because if I didn't, well, that's on me. But basically I said it was a rom-com that wasn't funny, but I still enjoyed it a lot. But Volume 2 made me laugh a lot, made me get way more intrigued with Ko and Nazuna, and it made me really enjoy the series just that huge amount more. And I cannot wait to see if Volume 3 continues up with that, or kind of stays where my enjoyment is. But either way, I've been loving Call of the Night, and I cannot wait for more Call of the Night to be released. I think there's 8 in Japan right now. I was about to say in Japanese, but same difference. There's 8 out and currently serializing in Japan, and I cannot wait to get like way more volumes of this and just start binging them again, because I feel like this series has a lot of rereadability, and I feel like I would really enjoy rereading it at one point. But yeah, well, that's all I have to really say about Call of the Night, because I don't really have much else to say. On to the next series. So for the next series I'm going to be talking about, this series I love a lot, and if you don't know any series I love a lot, it's going to be Blue Period Volume 4. Now, Volume 4 and 5 of Blue Period have had massive delays, if I'm not mistaken. I think this volume is supposed to come out in June, if I'm not mistaken, but I will say this. I love Blue Period. I've yet to read Volume 3 because I'm waiting for a couple more volumes to release just to binge through them, and I cannot wait for that anime because there is a trailer for that anime, and it looks great in my opinion. Other than like one scene with Yamaguchi, but other than that, it looks great, and I cannot wait to get into this volume and see more of the characters and see the development that Yatoro really makes throughout this world, and kind of see how the story progresses, as I really have been enjoying Blue Period a lot, and I cannot wait to read more into it. So yeah, probably my favorite painting manga, and the only painting manga I really read. I think there's another one called Blank Canvas, if I'm not mistaken. That's another one I'm going to be checking out soon, basically because of how much I enjoyed Blue Period. But yeah, that's it for Blue Period, and on to the next series. So, the next series is also one that I actually already finished, which is going to be Inside Mori Volume 8 by Shuzo Oshimi. I will say the last 2 or 3 volumes of Inside Mori were kind of confusing to me when I read them on scans. They weren't really that comprehensive, and they were kind of confusing at times, but I will say, after a while thinking about it, I do understand the ending. Shuzo Oshimi went for a different ending with Inside Mori, because a lot of his series, he kind of has the same exact ending, but for Inside Mori, he kind of went for a more abstract one, which I kind of liked more towards after reading it than actually during reading it. After reading it, I found way more enjoyment in the ending as I started to comprehend it more, but as I was reading it, I was kind of confused, and I didn't really enjoy it much. But I will say, Inside Mori did definitely grow on me, and I do definitely enjoy Inside Mori, and cannot wait for this volume to finally be out, as I can't wait to have all 9 volumes and just binge it all through physically, because I love Shuzo Oshimi works. You can really read 9 volumes in like 2.5 hours, and it would be just fine, because he does not put much words in his works. He mostly emphasizes his stories through art, and his art is amazing, and Inside Mori is no different. His art is just so good throughout all of Inside Mori. So yeah, that's all I really have to say about Inside Mori. Cannot wait for this volume, and yeah, on to the next one. The next one is going to be Asadoro Volume 3. I've yet to read Volume 2 of Asadoro. As I said, I'm on this journey of reading some stuff that I'll be talking about in my next video, which should be Thursday, but I'm going to wait for a little bit, because of course Naoki Urasawa works usually take a couple volumes to pick up in pace and really kind of pick up their story, so I'm going to wait till it starts kind of picking up and building up a lot of the stuff that it's really wanting to do, so I don't have to just read very slowly, see, and kind of forget a lot of these details that Naoki Urasawa always throws in there, like in 20th Century Boys, how it has a pretty slow start, because it's really building upon the cast and really building upon the story, and also that's from what I hear about Monster, it does the same thing, so I'm just going to let time come and a couple more volumes fly by, like maybe around 4 or 5, I'll start binging it again, just so I can really keep those details in mind, other than having to like reread the whole story after another volume comes out. I really don't want to do that, but yeah, that's Asadoro Volume 3. Cannot wait for it to come out, and I'm gonna not read it for a little bit, I will admit. Now, for a series I actually don't own any volumes of, because I was waiting for this to finish for the longest time. Boarding School Juliet. Now, if you don't know, I'm a huge rom-com fan. I don't really talk about it on many videos. I did have like a month stint where I only made rom-com videos. That didn't really go well for my channel. I didn't really gain many subs during that point, but Boarding School Juliet is something I've been waiting for like at least a year to finish in English because I've been wanting to read it so bad, but I didn't want to read it and kind of have to wait for each volume. But now, since volume 16 is finally coming out next month, I'm going to pick up all of it and just start reading all of it, as I've been waiting for the series, and I've been really interested in it for a really long time, and I hear it's pretty good, so I cannot wait to finally pick up the series and finally read all 16 volumes. Now, for the last series on this list, now I know you might be saying there's those Golden Comedy 22s or whatever and stuff. I'm not picking those up, so I'm not hyped for them because I don't have any of it in my collection. So why would I pre-order it and why would I buy it? Yada yada yada. But next up is Saichi's Monstrous Appetite Volume 3. I read Volume 1, I loved it. I still have to pick up Volume 2, I know, but I will very soon. I probably will pick it up around a week or two before this volume comes out, just so I can keep all those details kind of inside my brain still while I read Volume 3. And I cannot wait for Volume 3 to finally come out, so I can have almost all of Saichi's Monstrous Appetite, because I think it's still technically ongoing in Japan. But yeah, Volume 1 was great. I think I might make a video on Volume 1 at one point as a first impressions review, because I really did enjoy that. It was one of my favorite first volumes in a rom-com. It definitely had a very interesting take on the rom-com kind of tropes and stuff, so that's all I'd say about Saichi's Monstrous Appetite. It was really interesting and definitely very much highly suggested. But I think that's all I really have to say for this video, as that was the last series I was going to talk about. So I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did enjoy this video, go down there and hit that like button, and also, while you're down there, put a comment down there about what you guys are hyped for in the month of August for release dates. And yeah, that's all I really have to say for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I see you guys next time. Peace!